Okay, I haven't looked through this yet. I've just kind of gotten up. And this guy's kit is important to me. I also hope that a lot of little notes on characters exist in this. Makes summons immediately take action, can regenerate a percentage of their energy, and increase their summons damage, crit rate, and crit damage. So what does it increase of the individual character then, that they're buffing? Or is it just summons that he does all of that too? Because that's insane. His outfit. Well, about his outfit. We've kind of got it as relics. He doesn't need it anymore. A traveller who seeks the realisation of their first dream and has begun their journey once more. Time is short, but also quite long. It has been a while. I'm Sunday. Treat me as another traveller. Okay, your attire seems to have changed. One's mood might shift, and so it can be reflected by their appearance as well. A plain look is not unpleasant either. However, the tie should be on the centre line. The shirt must not protrude the vest. The trousers creases must be perfectly straight and always aligned with the tips of your shoes. You must make sure everything is presentable and in order before leaving the house. This way you will not deviate. Dr. Ratio, it is good to be organised, but an illness to be consumed by every little detail real. And also, it's very neat the way that he's actually kind of explained how his old outfit represents the Order. Have you been travelling all this time? Yes. How do I feel? Well, as I have walked the path and reflected upon myself, I have faced the realness of existence and the purest version of myself. My heart feels substantially more open than before. What one cannot deny is that even if creating a truly eternal paradise is my initial wish, there are still many sources of suffering I heed. Children worn down by illnesses, the poor and starving, the countless exhausted workers. Every time I hear them, I wish my feet can move a bit faster. Aww. This experience has instilled in me great inspiration. Perhaps it is only after I truly touch the earth that I will have a chance to seek the sky. Jade's note. I see that you've made the right choice. Experience hardships and gather experiences and feelings. Only then will you witness your truest self. Fair enough. What are your plans for the future? I will return home and look at the past. After that, I will continue seeking the fulfillment of my dream. Before the construction of my eternal paradise, I wish to see how more worlds are. This can perhaps be considered a kind of training, I suppose, or studying, perhaps. I could try some new activities after resuming my journey. I will speak about this in detail. Rubberball competitions, space races, unmanned exploration, very challenging activities that can also strengthen one's will. I will consider partaking in them. Imagining him racing sounds super funny. Walt's note. In this new journey, trust that you will find the answers you are looking for. It's interesting that Walt's commenting on this, and the way that he's talking would make him kind of sound like a Nameless. About Robin. Oh no, please don't hurt me. We once shared the same dream and saw its realization side by side, yet I never thought our paths would fork one day. In actuality, I still possess some concerns, but we almost face ourselves with resolve in the end. Writing letters? Ah yes, this has always been a habit of mine. I intend to keep at it as usual, but right now I have not found the most opportune time to write her. Yay! Okay, go on, write her a letter. Judging by the date, she should be about to go back on tour. Hey, you really keep up with her schedule. Good brother, fair enough. If my expectations are correct, you should receive a special invitation. If you have time, can I beg you to deliver a gift for me? Just say it's from a most loyal fan. Oh, that's cute. Robin's note. Brother, even if we are bound for different paths, we shall fulfill that promise we set all those years ago. Which we know she was still thinking about, because it's mentioned in a Myriad Celestia trailer, mentioned in the current story, like the previous one for 2.6, mentioned in her voice lines. Like, this girl really thinks about it a lot. So, character trace is the important bit. If the ultimate regenerates less than 40 energy for the target, increase the energy regenerated to 40. Alright, great. It's a guaranteed 40 regenerated. That's nutty. I like that. When the battle begins, Sunday regenerates energy. Alright, fair. Using skill removes one debuff from target ally. Okay, great. Cleansing. always useful to have, always good to have on characters. Related abilities, sweet, okay. Hey! It's weird he still has access to those, since they seem to be connected to the harmony and the order, depending. More so the harmony, considering the initial transformation. We'll see, though. The feather represents his sister, doesn't it? We've seen this idol already. The technique is beautiful. So, the first time Sunday uses an ability on an ally in the next battle, the target's damage dealt increases for a certain number of turns. Okay, interesting. So, smaller battles are going to go even faster, depending on your comp. Basic attack, ignore it. Benison of Paper and Rights causes one designated ally character in their summon to immediately take action, increases their damage dealt. If the summon target has a summon, the damage boost effect caused additionally increases. Okay, so there's a set increase and then there's more of an increase for specifically summon characters. Great, fine. That's beautiful. Lasting for a certain number of turns. It's not specifying the turn count. Recover one skill point after using the skill on a target with the Beatified. So he's SP neutral. Ooh, he's real good then. Oh, okay. When using skill, increases target's crit rate, lasting for a certain number of turns. It doesn't give us the percentage, but that's still nice. The thing we need to know, if it's not specified here, which it doesn't seem like it usually gives exact stats, is how it scales on what stat. Because if it's just a set percentage, then that's kind of nutty and it means he can be built very flexibly. But my concern is he's probably going to rely on a stat, and can we prepare for said stat? So, his ultimate regenerates a certain amount of energy for one designated allied character based on their max energy and turns the target and their summon into the Beatified. So, after using ult, he's able to then use his skill for SP neutral on that character, which is insane. Increases the crit damage of the Beatified. At the beginning of each of Sunday's turns, reduce the Beatified state by 1 for 3 turns. This only takes effect on the latest target of Sunday's ultimate, excluding himself. When Sunday is downed, the Beatified is dispelled, so he has to have good survivability. Okay, fair. It doesn't say the stat that it's reliant on, but my assumption has to be it's either crit rate or crit damage. It has to be one of them because they're specified in his kit. So next up, let's have a look at this. Okay, his lightcone has beautiful art. Let's see how dumb this is. After wearer uses skill or ultimate on one ally character, the wearer regenerates 6 energy. The ability's target receives 1 stack of hymns for 3 turns, stacking up to 3 times. Each stack of hymn increases the damage of the unit by 15%. Alright! After 2 instances of the wearer using ultimate or skill, one ally recovers a skill point. Even more SP neutral. That's insane. Okay, his lightcone is actually so good it's going to probably appear on other characters. That's a nutty lightcone. That's rough for me. So to me, Sunday is looking super good. He's basically a must-pull if you're going for Remembrance because of the way that his skill works. He basically becomes SP neutral. He buffs the character initially. The buff, it really depends on how good his buff is, on how useful it is. But he basically looks like if Bronya took steroids, a lot of steroids, and got extra niches on top of her own. So Bronya's been completely crept. The thing I wonder is, how does he compare to characters like Sparkle for functionality? Since in an Acheron team, Sparkle is basically the best alternative support, because she buffs crit damage and gives skill points, which enables you to do kind of what you want. And she is also, of course, the best support, seemingly, for Dan Heng. But Dan Heng's ultimate lets him decrease the amount of skill points he uses on his attacks. So will using this to give more energy back make it so you don't need the skill points because his ult is always active, and the fact he remains SP neutral and makes it so your DPS takes less skill points is, yeah, I'm stunned at that. Sparkle's going to maybe potentially lose usage, like, massively. She might end up completely useless. Which is really sad, because I like using Sparkle and I like getting her, and I'm kind of upset because I got her relatively recently. I got her on her rerun. This guy might be way, way better. It really depends on how it comes up in testing. Providing energy. So, increasing energy, advancing forward the action 100%, which is better than Sparkle's. It's the same as Bronya's though, the advanced 100. Increase of damage, crit rate and crit damage, which is interesting because obviously in the case of using break teams, those buffs aren't helpful at all. But the advanced forward is. So is there another increase of damage specified in his kit? Like, does it specify a value that is not either crit rate or crit damage? It really depends on how the wording is in the actual skill, ultimate, and, you know, his traces and things when we actually get him, on how good that is. I'm not the sort to watch videos from the creator server. I think it's kind of scummy that they made it so people can monopolize that. The people who have the views and have the subs basically get all the extra access so they can monopolize on it because they have the content out first. But, I'll just wait until I can play him, but unfortunately that might actually change my intentions over getting this damn lightcone because it's so good. I did not expect his lightcone to be this amazing. It really depends on how mean he is on coming home. But yeah, no, he looks like a must pull. His lightcone looks like it's good for most Harmony characters, which is insanely powerful. The energy regen. The energy regen, the giving of a buff that increases their damage as a tally for up to 45% because it stacks 3 times. Like, on the first turn it'll be 15, second turn it'll be 30, third turn it'll be 45. That's really good. Like, you just maintain that 3 stacks by continuously using his skill or ultimate, which hopefully you should be doing every turn because he's SP neutral. There's literally no reason to not based on the way his kit seems. So he himself is SP neutral, meanwhile his lightcone enables you to be more SP neutral with other characters. It'd be a DPS getting their SP back from using their skill each turn. This is going to have some very interesting comps because it basically, he's fulfilling the niche that if you have his lightcone, he's basically fulfilling Sparkle's job, just without it being skill points and instead giving you energy too. So you'll never have more skill points than you should be allowed. So you'll always gain back ones you're using, debatably, because if somehow they made a character flourish with basic attack, which I doubt it, it's always going to be utilize your skill, because obviously you're using resources, so you should get more benefit out of doing it. But if they ever did do that, and it not be like SP draining, he'd actually be SP positive. But I don't see that happening. So, or at least not for now. It's like, it really depends on what summons do. How do the summons utilize more SP? Or do they just come on field and then have their effects? Like how Lightning Lord does. He doesn't use SP at all. Neither does Nubby. Neither does Fu Yuan. So we'll really see how good this ends up being based on testing. We basically need to test it now. And unfortunately, the only way to test it fully is by having a character like Jing Yuan or Topaz, because Remembrance isn't out yet. So for those who want to test what it's going to look like on a Remembrance character, we don't even know how well Remembrance characters like perform at speed turn order, because obviously main issue with Jing Yuan is the way that Lightning Lord is on turn order. Meanwhile, if Remembrance doesn't have that issue, if, for example, the summons act on the same turn as the person who summoned them, and it's just their speed that matters, or if it's something like Fu Yuan where it's in response to certain attacks or things, we could end up with some broken builds here. It depends on how good. It depends on how good Remembrance is, on how good this man ends up being, but he's super good even without. So yeah, no, I'd say he's a borderline must pull, which is terrifying.